So last class I discussed regarding the PCA timers of 8051. So before this topic, whatever I discussed, this is all about the advanced 8051 architectures. Today I am going to start the introduction to AVR family architectures. So first you have studied 8051 and now we will study AVR family architectures. So first you have to know about that. What is the difference between these two? What is the benefit of this AVR architectures? Okay. So generally what will happen in when you are seeing 8051 architectures, in that RAM ROMs are available. That is fixed amount of RAM and fixed amount of RAM is available. Since at the time of manufacturing, on the same IC, RAM and ROM will be fixed. So till now there is no concept of including the external RAM. Till now, whatever if you have a computers, you have an option. You put 4 GB RAM, you put 2 GB RAM, you put 8 GB RAM, like that. Okay. But in the previous microcontrollers, there is no facilities are available to put the external RAM or external ROM. Okay. So that's why this AVR family architecture is very important, since this is the first microcontroller to use on-chip flash memory for program memory or program storage. Now we will see, whenever I'm talking about the 8051 program memory, okay, ROM, and now when you are talking AVR family architectures, in that the ROM you can add external ROM. So what is the benefit for adding external RAM? Let us consider if you are buying 8051 and you have a ROM capacity 5 kilobyte, then you cannot able to write a program more than 5 kilobyte. Okay, the maximum program size is 5 kilobyte. But now if you have an external facility, external ROM is there, then you can add external ROM and you can write any programs. So it is more efficient than the fixed one. So now you can see the AVR architectures are developed by two students of the college. The college name is Norwegian Institute of Technology. The name is Alf Egelbogen and Vegard Bolen. That's why the name it is AVR. So A indicates the Alf Egelbogen and V indicates the Vegard Bolen and R indicates that architectures. There are two types of architectures used for the processor on controller. One is called RISC, another is called CISC. So R indicates that this architecture is based upon the RISC computing. It is called reduced instruction set computing. And CISC indicates complex instruction set computing. What is the difference between these two? In RISC processor or RISC controllers, what will happen? The number of instructions are less, and you can easily understand this type of instructions. But when we are talking about the complex instruction set computing, in that instructions are complex, it's very difficult to understand for a users who is going to write a program. Okay, and it is developed in 1986 by Atmel company. But in 2016, it is acquired. Atmel is acquired by the Microchip Technology. Microchip Technology. So after 2016, the Atmel is not going to build that particular controllers. Okay, particular AVR controllers. The next benefit of this AVR family is it is complete system on chip. What is the meaning of complete system of chip? See, nowadays, whatever I am going to design, you are going to design systems that all systems will be very small, very thin, very compact. So if you are designing this type of systems, full systems on a single chip, that is called system on chip. Like the Arduino board, Raspberry Pi board. So these all comes under the complete system on chip. So if you are considering Arduino board, you can do lot of programs. You can do. There are so many peripheral devices are attached in that board itself. Okay. And the next is onboard memory. There are three types of memory available in this AVR architectures. One is called flash memory, SRAM, EEPROM. Flash memory, like pen drive. Static RAM, SRAM indicates static RAM and dynamic RAM. There are two types of RAM, static RAM and dynamic RAM. Static RAM will be used in this case. And EEPROM, that is called electrically erasable, programmable, read-only memory. So whatever the memory is coming in the first thing, you cannot able to delete the data from ROM. Someone, I think, heard about the floppy disk. So floppy disk type of a storage device is not erased by users. But nowadays, whatever ROMs I am using, like hard disk you are using, you can erase so many times. You can erase several times. Pen drives you are using, micro SD card you are using, you can erase number of times. There is no problem in that. So this type of storage device comes under the electrically erasable, programmable, read-only memory. तो जो पहले आता था रोम, उसको हम डिलीट नहीं कर सकते थे. डिलीट करने के लिए क्या होता था, उसको वापस उस कंपनी के पास भेजा था. कंपनी सम टेक्निकल स्पेसिफिकेशन के साथ वो क्या करता था, उसको डेटा को डिलीट करता था और उसके बाद वापस भेजता था. तो दैट्स नॉट द कन्वीनियंट वे. अगर मान लो हमने कुछ खरीदा और खरीदने के बाद अगर उसको यूज करना हो तो बार बार कंपनी के पास जाना पड़े, इट्स नॉट यूजफुल. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई EEPROM is developed, and the main advantage of this EEPROM is you can erase data easily. That's why we are all buying to hard disk, pen drives, micro SD cards, all the things. Next is onboard peripherals. So first I have to see peripheral devices. What is peripheral devices? Okay. So the example of peripheral devices is like keyboard, mouse, loudspeaker, graphics card, webcam. These all the things which is required for a system, that is called peripherals. Without mouse, without keyboard, you can't do anything in the system, in the computer, laptop, desktop, whatever. So these type of things comes under the peripherals. So now it has facility of onboard peripherals. So some peripherals are already attached on the same board. So the next is first in-house CPU designed by Advan. First in-house CPU. All of you know that CPU. Whenever the controller or processor is required, CPU is necessary. So this unit will responsible for doing operations or doing any job for certain task. Okay. So what is the meaning of in-house CPU? In-house CPU, it means that something is designed or something is existing within the organization. Okay. So you can tell that the CPU is designed on a single chip and within the organization. Now let us consider you have a desktop. In desktop also CPU is there. So CPU is having so many things. Okay, and it is arranged in a box. So that is not in-house CPU. In-house CPU means it is very small and it is designing in a within the organizations, within the same systems. So now then in this family, there are mainly three types of AVR family will. So AVR is classified into three groups, that is tiny groups, mega groups and X mega groups. There are several features of all these three groups. Now if you are considering tiny AVR, it has 0.5 to 16 kilobyte program memory. So every groups of AVR is having some different program memory. Okay, and also it has different packaging. Okay, so it is packaged between 6 to 32 pin packets. This is the property of tiny AVR. Now it is having limited peripheral sets. So I already discussed the peripherals. So it having some 2 or 3 peripherals. You can attach 2 or 3 peripherals at a time. That's it. So now we are going for the mega AVR. It has 4 to 152 kilobyte program memory. It has 28 to 100 pins packets. And also it has extended instruction set. So extended instruction set means what? Whatever instructions you are using in a tiny AVR, okay, the number of instructions increased. Like in tiny AVR, multiply instructions are not available. So in this mega AVR, multiply instructions are added. And also instructions for handling large program memories. See, there are two types of there are two ways to write the programs. If you are writing in assembly level language, what will happen? Let us consider in one program having 10 lines. In one program having 10,000 lines. 10,000 lines. Okay. So if you are executing this program, it's very easy to do. But when you are going to use the 10,000 line programs, what will happen? It will take more time. So for that type of program, you have to need the instructions for handling. So if your number of instructions are more, you can divide instructions in a part. Okay, like 200, 500. So it will easily execute and it will faster also. So for that purpose, the mega AVR is having this type of features. And also it has extensive peripheral set. So extensive peripheral set, I already discussed peripheral set. So extensive means it covering a large area. Some peripheral devices are there which covers large area, that is called extensive peripheral set. So now X mega AVR. So X mega AVR, this type of AVR family contains 16 to 384 kilobyte program memory, 44, 64, 100 pins packets. Now A4X mega having 44 pins, A3X mega AVR having 64 pins, and X mega A1 AVR having 100 pins. Okay. So also it has extended performance features like DMA, event systems, and cryptographic support. So now we have to understand what is DMA. So first, it is called direct memory access. Okay. So DMA, what is the use of DMA? In a system or in any systems, if you are talking any systems, okay, in that there are three different lines are there. One is called data lines, another is called address lines, and third one is called control lines. Only these three types of lines are there. Lines means you can tell the path. Okay. Like pipe. Okay. So DMA, what is the use of DMA? So DMA helps to transfer the data easily. Now let us consider you came across with the problem like one system is there. There are two pen drives attached in that. Okay. With the CPU, if in these two pen drives, what will happen simultaneously? Let us consider one is a 4 GB pen drive, another is a 2 GB pen drive. I am sending data 2 GB in the second pen drive or 3 GB data in the first pen drive with the difference of fraction of seconds. Like मैंने पहले कॉपी किया मैंने पेस्ट किया पेन ड्राइव 1 में फिर पेस्ट किया पेन ड्राइव 2 में तो क्या होता है व्हाट्स हैपन आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू सीन दैट when you are doing like that the transfer rate will be decreases. It is very slow. Why? Since within the CPU only two lines are there, only one lines are there, that is called data lines. So with the help of this line only you can transfer the data. If it is attached to devices in the same things, what will happen? Sometimes it will go into this, some things will go into this, sometimes it will go into the second one, sometimes it will go into the first one. So रास्ता एक ही है और हमें डेटा दो जगह भेजनी है तो डेफिनेटली है कि स्लो होगा. Okay. Now for doing fastly what you will do, let us consider one more examples. एग्जाम्पल्स में क्या है कि हमें पेन सीपीयू के साथ लैपटॉप के साथ दो पेन ड्राइव अटैच कर दिया, ठीक है, और नाउ आई वांट टू ट्रांसफर द डेटा फ्रॉम वन पेन ड्राइव टू अनदर पेन ड्राइव. What will happen? In the general case, what will happen? Let us consider I am transferring from this, so the CPU will copy the data from pen drive 1 and pasting the data from to the pen drive 2. So what क्या होगा? सबसे पहले CPU क्या करेगा? पेन ड्राइव 1 से डेटा रीड करेगा, फिर CPU क्या करेगा? इसे राइट करेगा. So it will take more time to transfer the data from one pen drive to another pen drive. But अब क्या होता है? अब जो भी सिस्टम्स आती है उसमें सिस्टम में बड़ा फास्ट होता है. फास्ट होने का रीजन क्या है कि when you are transferring between two external devices, the CPU will not do anything. CPU will not work. So if CPU will not work, how the data will be transferred? This is responsible for DMA. So DMA is sitting inside the CPU and DMA is doing this type of transfers. At that time, I already told only one buses are there. So if one buses are there, at that time, CPU will not do anything and DMA will process the data. So directly DMA will copy from one pen drive and pasting to the other pen drive. So this mechanism is used, this device is used for transferring the data fastly. Now the second thing is called event systems. What is event system? Actually what happens, this event system is a way of sending events to the objects in the application based on input. Like you are doing something. Let us you are watching movies in your system. Okay. I want to do some another task. What you will do? Either you will close the movies or you can pause the movies. Then you will go for that other part. Correct? So with the help of, तो हम pause कैसे करेंगे? हम उसको disconnect कैसे करेंगे? उसको करने के लिए क्या करते हैं? Either you can use a pen drive, either you can use a mouse or you can use a keyboard. दोनों से हम क्या कर सकते हैं? उस एप्लीकेशन को इंटरप्ट कर सकते हैं. That comes under the event system. So keyboard, mouse, touchpad, these type of components is coming under the event systems. Okay, so it is responsible for processing and handling events. how can you handle the event? If you want to pause the movies, if you want to continue the movies, you want to delete the movies, okay, all the things you can control by the mouse and keyboard. So this type of things will come under the event systems. Now next is coming to the cryptography support. Cryptography support. So what is the meaning of cryptography? Cryptography means you are decoding something. Let us consider on a phone you are calling some friends. So that message, whatever you are saying, that it will not reach to the third parties. For that purpose, this message is decoded, and that it comes to the cryptography. So this XMega we are also having the cryptography support. Now something you are listening that someone is tapping your phone. Okay, so this tapping, what you will do? Whatever encrypted is there, you have to encrypt that data. And between these two lines, between those two persons, in between somewhere else, he will tap the signal lines and he will listen all the things, whatever you have talked between that, between friends. So this type of things is called cryptography. So this is a study of secure connection techniques that allow only sender and intended recipients of a message to view its contents. Let us consider if I am sending message via WhatsApp, then me and other recipients will see that message, no other third party. So this type of function is called cryptography. And also it is extensive peripheral set with ADC. ADC also inbuilt on that. So no problem. I have a lot of analog signals are there. And also in these architectures, analog comparator is also available. You can take analog signals without converting in a digital. You can compare the signals easily. So now you can see the architectures. So in architectures, first you listen the ALU things. This is called arithmetic and logic unit. So in the CPU, ALU is present. What ALU will do? ALU will do the arithmetic and logic operation. So how he can do operation? With the help of general purpose registers. Whatever instructions or whatever data is available in the general purpose registers, he will take the data and he will do the operations depending upon the instructions. So now in general purpose register, there are 32 registers are available. That is called R0 to R31. Okay, so 32 registers are there. Whatever you want to execute or whatever you want to do operation, within these registers, the ALU will take the data and he will perform the arithmetic and logic operations. Now in general purpose registers, from where the data will be coming, from where instructions will be coming. Okay, now you can see this line goes to like that. It means that this is instructions is going to the registers. Now you can see one thing that is called program counter. Program counter is responsible for storing for executing the next instruction. It means that whatever address is stored in the program counter, that address, in that address, whatever instructions are there, that instruction will be executed first. So now this program counter, let us consider I have written a program. Let us consider in 805 you have written move A comma B. Okay. So these instructions you have written, but this instruction is stored in some memory. So that memory is called flash program memory. In that flash program memory, this instruction will be saved. Whenever the program counter value is 2000, so in that 2000 locations, the instructions move comma a will be executed. Before executing, when you are storing move a comma b in the memory, what will happen? It will be stored in a hex code. Directly you can't able to store move a comma b in memory. Okay, so move a comma b having some hex code corresponding that hex code will be saved in the 2000 location. With the help of instruction registers, it will find that which instructions you are going to use, and instructions decoder will do that. It will decode the from hex code to the original instructions for the processor. So with the help of control lines, instruction decoder will decode the instructions so that he has to know which type of operation you have to perform. Okay, so now there are two types of there are two ways, and this is called instructions. Okay, now in instructions, if data is there, so data will be stored in the data itself, and a program will be stored in the flash program memory. So from data memory, there are two ways to take the data. One is called direct addressing modes, another is called indirect addressing modes. With the help of these two methods, you can take the data to the registers. And after that, you can do the operation, and then after logic or arithmetic operations, it will give the result. That result will be sent through these data lines anywhere, any models. Okay, so now it also has EEPROM. I already talked about that. Input output lines. So there are so many input output lines, that is called input output module 1, input output module 2, input output module 3, input output module 4, like that. So in this way, you can attach. There are so many input devices or output devices you can attach with the any modules. There is no problem in that. And one is also called analog comparator. It also has an analog comparator. With the help of analog comparator, it will compare the two analog signals directly. Also, Barstow timers. In the previous lectures, I discussed the Barstow timers. What is the use of the Barstow timers? If in the system or within the system any software fault occurs, this is the responsibility of Barstow timers to correct them. How he will correct? For correcting this software fault, he will do the operation of restart, or it can say reset. Okay, so after when he will restart, automatically the software faults will be removed. So now generally, I think all of you come across with that. Your smartphones will hang sometimes. Then what you will do? You are doing restart. Then it will be fine. It will be working fine. No problem in that. How it will happen? This will happen due to the capacity of instruction executed by the processor. Let us consider simultaneously in one time he will execute 10 instructions, 10 operations, but you are operating 12 or 13 or 14 instructions. What will happen? This will be hanged on. Okay, so in this way the system will be hanged on, or you are removing with the starting with the systems. When you are starting the system, what will happen? All the registers value will start from 0. Everything, no operation will be performed within that. So will be fresh, like you can say the new one. SPI unit, serial peripherance interface unit. If you want to transfer the data from one place to another place, you can use the SPI interface, and you can attach in a device. You can send the data easily. Interrupt unit. See, there are important role of interrupt unit. Let us consider you are doing some task, some job. Okay. In between something is necessary, like that. Let us consider you are watching lectures, listening lectures. Okay. In between, your parents will told you have to do this type of work. You have to do these things. What you will do? Either you will refuse it, and the second option is you will stop this and you will do the work, then again come and again join it. Okay. So that is called, comes under the priority. Which work is having highest priority? So interrupts is, in interrupt there are so many things. अगर 5 काम एक साथ आ जाए तो कौन सा काम करोगे? अगर 4 लेक्चर एक ही टाइम पे हो तो कौन सा लेक्चर अटेंड करोगे? Who will decide that? Okay, so these things are decided by the interrupt unit. So now we see this, some questions are there. The first question is, registers R0 to R31 are used for what type of work? Okay, there are 4 options. They are used for arithmetic and logic instructions. They are used for the data copy. They are used for the calculation. None of the mentioned. What is the answer? Any have any idea?